at where Buffalo's at. Ownership stable, new stadium coming, massive revenue upgrade. Buy more players. Superstar quarterback, top 6 offensive line in a league that has shifted over the last decade to offense. Tight end, slot receiver, running back, quarterback, O-line, left tackle. Really good. Last 6 years, most wins in the league. Best point differential by a country mile. Number 1 offense, second in playoff wins. Yes, they had a bad 72 hours. They had a bad press conference yesterday. The Sean McDermott firing and press release could have been better. But they've been excellent for 6-7 years. Excellent. Can this also be noted? Winning Super Bowls is hard. Sean McVay, the best coach arguably in the league, has won and should probably thank Aaron Donald and 1 sack late on Joe Burrow for that. Jim Harbaugh, none. Kyle Shanahan, none. Sean Payton, 1. And if the Colts recover that onside kick, he's maybe looking at 0. Okay, the Buffalo Bills are a controversial catch, no catch call from beating the excellent Jags and the excellent Broncos on the road. Okay. Bill Belichick, 5 of his 6 Super Bowls decided by a possession, 3 by a field goal. Rory McIlroy, best golfer in Europe for 15 years. He went 11 years without winning a major. He was often PGA Player of the Year multiple times. In a year, he didn't win a major. And in golf, you get 4 chances a year to win a major. In the NFL, you get one 3.5-hour window. That's it. I would rather be a Buffalo Bills fan today than almost anybody not named Kansas City because of Andy Reid and Mahomes, and Andy Reid could retire in a year.
Yeah, but we're kind of having the wrong conversation here. We're having the wrong conversation big time because you're talking about how stable and how great they've been for the last 6-7 years. Yeah, that's because of Josh Allen. That's because of Josh Allen. And Sean McDermott was also a big part of that as well because he needed to stabilize this franchise, and now he's out the door, and there's no clear vision who they're hiring unless it is stable. Like all the reporting at this point is just a little confusing, but we're now doing the wrong things about talking about how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. It is hard to win a Super Bowl. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But the reality is that you have Josh Allen, an absolute elite monster at quarterback. And now, and I'm going to be making a separate video about this because I didn't watch the clip yet, but I saw and I agree with this. He's like, I think Stafford is a Hall of Famer, but if he wins this game in the Super Bowl, he's like a top 15 all time. And I'd been saying that if Matthew Stafford got to Sean McVay earlier on in his career, he would be in like the GOAT conversation. He would be in the you know, how we talk about Manning, you know, etc. Manning, Brady, Aaron, you know, just the usual suspects. And the reality is that you're sitting with Josh Allen and the teams have failed him. I'm going to be making a separate video about this because this just triggers so many people, unfortunately. But you have 2021 and you lose that game. And Josh Allen literally does nothing. He takes the lead with 13 seconds left, and because of Sean McDermott, you lose that game. In 2023, Josh Allen throws a beautiful ball to Diggs and another receiver, I forget his name. They both drop it. That lit in the 4th quarter that literally completely changes that game. If he catches that, the game is completely changed, and the Bills probably go on and win that game, but they don't. And then people will say, yeah, but Josh Allen missed a throw to Diggs, so he was wide open. And it's like that always continues to be such a deal. Chris Jones was in his lap. Chris Jones was in his lap, which is essentially what Aaron do, what Colin is talking about with Aaron Donald in the lap of Joe Burrow, but it was in Josh Allen's lap. That's why that throw was there. Then you have in 2024, your guys are such a disorganized team that you can't even run a screen pass correctly. And your big midseason move is Amari Cooper, who's a deep breath away from retiring, and that's in the 4th. That's the final possession for the Bills, where if he just is able to run that correctly, he scores a touchdown or at the least is in easy chip shot field goal range. But even with that said, they don't do that. Josh Allen makes a beautiful throw dealing with all the pressure in the world, and then is dropped by his receiver, who again, you're now either can drive and score a touchdown or a field goal. And then last, then this past season, obviously you have not been great this whole season. The fact that you were even in the playoffs is 100% because of Josh out his heroics. You don't beat the Bengals, you don't beat the Patriots, you don't beat the Bucks, you don't beat the Ravens, you do not win those games. If it wasn't for literally Josh Allen turning into Superman in those games, you wouldn't have even been in the playoffs. That's the reality. That's the reality. And that is indefensible. Just like it was indefensible for Matthew Stafford to what? Make the playoffs 3 times. I think he made the playoffs 3 times with the Lions and didn't win a single playoff game. And now he's with McVay for what? 5 years? And he's going to win more playoff games than the Lions franchise as a whole. That's the power of structure. But yes, Colin is right. They absolutely could have still not even won the Super Bowl, as Brew always points out that the Snorts 49ers dropped that pass. Same thing with the 49ers could have a Super Bowl ring. Greenlaw doesn't go down if their punt returner doesn't muff a punt. In 2019, Patrick Mahomes was trying to go for a touchdown or a first down, gets rocked off on top of his 2 interceptions. He fumbles the ball, and there was like 5 49ers players all around, and the ball just goes out of bounds. If that ball just kind of hangs in the air and just bounces, just instead of out of bounds, more into the middle of the field, that gets scooped up, and then they don't score, completely changes everything. So yeah, all these games, we can say that, right? I mean, like literally that, like that's how football has won and lost at this point. And it's been that way for as long as I can remember. I mean, literally every single one of Tom Brady's wins are just like, if only you caught that one ball, they lose. If only like literally Manning Super Bowls against Tom Brady against the Falcons, against Seattle, easily could have beat the Eagles, but lost to the, like we can have that conversation all the time. And I just think ultimately that's the wrong conversation, because to me, the most glaring issue is this. People can say, oh, you just ran into the Chiefs. That's why you lost. And it's like, no, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Your defense gave up the same amount of points as the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Cincinnati Bengals held them to 24 points in 2021, the 13-second game. Why should the Cincinnati Bengals be better defensively in that regard? Your quarterback hung 36 points, and that wasn't enough. I mean, the Jags in the playoffs gave up 27. The Bengals gave up 23. The Eagles gave up snorts, technically 31, because the one was on-off, defensive score. Why are they doing better? The Miami Dolphins held the Kansas City to Chiefs 26. You gave up 27. The Ravens held them to 17 points, and the 49ers held them to, what was it? It was overtime. So the 19 points at the end of regulation, where the defensive coordinator they didn't like and fired, Houston Texans held the Chiefs to 23. You gave up 32. The Philadelphia Eagles sure gave up 22. Not really. Was really only 6, but we'll give him 22 just for fun. Those things become indefensible. Those things become individual. The fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars put up a better defensive stance, or the Cincinnati Bengals or the Philadelphia Eagles, that becomes indefensible. And if they were just able to do their job, then you would win a Super Bowl. You could have multiple Super Bowls. That becomes the fundamental problem. That's where the frustration can really build. And there is no trust next head coach to lead Josh. Like, again, it all depends on who it is. And do they build an appropriate roster? Are the players ready to perform? I mean, think about how in just this last game, you can talk about Josh Allen this, Josh Allen that. That's fine. The rest of the players did not rise to the Aka. Nobody stepped up. Nobody stepped up. Everyone who kept saying, oh, well, Cook is the most important player on that team, and he fumbled. And he fumbled. Shaw doesn't know how to chip. That directly leads to a fumble on Josh Allen now because he gets blown up from behind. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. You give up 2 deep ball touchdowns to Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos like it's nothing. It's unacceptable. That's unacceptable going into this game utilizing two receivers who Josh Allen has played a whopping, like has thrown the ball like a whopping 14 times to, and used them in the most crucial moments, the final drive. In overtime, you're throwing to two receivers who Josh Allen has thrown to a total of like 12 times. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. So you can talk about how this team has been relevant and great over these last X amount of years, and it's not because of the franchise itself. It's not because of the Buffalo Bills infrastructure. It's because of Josh Allen. That's what it is. And when you build the right structure, then you can actually reach the highest level. Then you can reach these sustainable levels. But until then, you're doomed to have these problems again and again and again. And so you have to bring the right coach to fix that. But right now, the way how this is all operating, hearing some of the things that all the other people are saying, like it's a mess. It's a mess. And if anything, it kind of sounds like Sean McDermott did a pretty good job of at least keeping things like stable. Maybe not elevating, but keeping things stable. But at this point, like, who knows what's what? Like, it's loud and it's messy. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Buffalo Bills? Do you think a head coach? Do you trust that the next head coach will be able to lead this Bills team to a Super Bowl? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.